Hey, it's Lone Star Troy down here from the hot state of Texas. I think we're almost 40 days of 100-degree weather. It's getting old. Anyway, everybody makes videos about their new Tesla and things you should know. Here's some things I think that are extremely important to know that I haven't heard people discussing on YouTube yet. Uh, you don't get what you pay for. I originally paid $6 grand. Model Y Performance would have a advanced autopilot. And yeah, it just doesn't have it. It has autopilot, and honestly, it's tried to kill me 3 times. And so I was taking a trip, and I wanted full self-driving. I looked in the app, and for an extra 99 bucks a month, you could have full self-driving. And that's what it says in the app. Well, I paid for it, and I waited, and I waited. And it was back in July I paid for it, and this is mid-August. And if you go into my computer at full self-driving beta, which says nothing about beta in the app, will be available in a future update software release, which I've waited for, 2-3 weeks now, and apparently I haven't gotten an update in quite a while, and it stays in my garage connected to Wi-Fi. So I called Tesla, and I talked to a nice young lady, and I'll say everybody there is extremely friendly, but they don't call it full self-driving. It's called full self-driving in the app, but on the car it says full self-driving beta, which I can't get because my car doesn't have the right software. And I think I looked online, and I'm 4 or 5 softwares behind the latest and the greatest. And they told me that if I paid for full self-driving beta, which that's not what it's called in the app, that if I opted in, I could do the full self-driving beta. And I'm like, dude, I paid $100 a month, and the car, the only thing different it does is it stops for green lights, and I don't know, it may stop for a stop sign. But other than that, I got no more features. And they know my car doesn't have the software to be able to even do full self-driving beta, and they won't refund my money. They won't extend my, monthly subscription for something I paid for and didn't get. So, that's my number one complaint with Tesla is you pay for something. If you have it, you should, if you're going to offer people stuff and you pay for it, you should have it. Plain and simple. And I paid $6 grand to have the advanced autopilot, which I have that, but like I said, I took a long trip here, and twice in one day, it going 70 miles an hour down the freeway, it made sharp right turns. The first time was straight into a concrete barrier wall. Scared the bejeebies out of me. And then later on that day, it did the same thing. Sharp right turn on Interstate 10, and it tried to drive right out into just a field at 70 miles an hour. And then coming back, it did it a third time, and I was done. No more autopilot until they get it fixed. It's very dangerous, and trying to fight that wheel and jerk it back as it's departs the lane, and it isn't like a slow drift. It jerks. Very scary. So when I pay that $6 grand, I do not have the auto summon. I do not have the parallel or perpendicular parking. It won't pull in and out of my garage. 75% of the features I paid for, I do not have. And they can't give me an ETA. And yeah, it's just not good. And I'll tell you something else. If you have one of these cars, if you do a service request and then you have another problem, I don't know what the proper thing to do is, but every time I've had several issues with this car, and every week something else pops up on the screen. Right now I have a tire pressure monitor system failure. I have constantly popping up that my cameras on the side of the car are malfunctioning, dirty, or blocked, and the car's spotless. I can't remember what the other issues were, but anyway, if you add another issue and you've already made an appointment, then it'll kick you back to the next available appointment. So I made an appointment, I think 2 weeks ago, and then I added another issue. So now I'm it kicked me back. They were, I think, supposed to be here today. Then they were supposed to be here next Monday, and now I think I have to wait till August 28th or end of the month because I added another thing, issue. And if I have any more issues, I'm not adding them because I want them to come out and try to, see what's going on with this autopilot, because it's dangerous. It's truly dangerous. I can't imagine some old lady driving this car and it jerks to the right and her try to jerk it back, or just somebody old and frail, or it's ridiculous. And the fact that you do not get what they advertise on their app. The app says full self-driving. It says nothing about beta. It doesn't say you pay for it now and you may get it sometime in the future. And that's what they're telling me. I'm in the queue now, since I paid for it, to get full self-driving beta. I'm in a queue. I'm paying $100 to be in a queue to eventually get full self-driving beta. And the app says full self-driving. And and I don't have any of those features. This car will not self-drive, full self-drive. It will autopilot going down the freeway. And anyway, other than that, this car has awesome AC. The stereo's decent. Acceleration is out of this world. It's fun to drive. I'd buy it again, but I would not pay $6,000 for any advanced features, or the $15,000. You might as well just give your money to me. You'll probably get better service. At least I'd talk to you on the phone and try to help you. But to charge somebody for something and not even have the service available, in the state of Texas, that's called theft of service. And I don't know how Tesla gets by with it, but they do. All right. Well, I've ranted long enough, but I wanted to share my experience with Tesla. The employees there, always friendly. They try to be helpful, but I don't understand. If I paid somebody $25 to mow my yard, and then they didn't mow my yard, I call them up. Hey, you didn't mow my yard. I paid you $25. Well, you're not getting all the service yet, but you're in the queue to eventually get your yard mowed. That makes no sense at all. And anyway, y'all have a good day. And something else they don't tell you. They recommend leaving this car plugged in all the time. So it charges. It routinely charges, and then other times I've come out and I hear fans running and all kind of stuff, and nothing's in the car. No one's in the car, so I don't know why fans are running. I guess maybe to cool the batteries that are being charged all the time. It kicks off and then it kicks back on. But anyway, I found there's two things. You definitely need to turn your Sentry mode off if you're keeping your car parked in the garage. That draws a lot of juice. And then it has some kind of feature where it keeps the cabin cooler, doesn't want it to overheat. Well, you need to turn that off also. But yeah, a car that you constantly have to plug in. And anyway, like the car a whole lot. I ain't going to get rid of it, but they ought to provide what they say you're getting. If you pay for a service, you should get it. Y'all have a great day.